Okay, let's get started. Good evening. Welcome to the session number 31 of Davos Experience in Tokyo. My name is Yoko Ishikura. I have been hosting this event for the past 3 years, and I really would like to welcome all of you to this session. How many of you, this is the first time? Okay. This is just about, all the time, it's about half of the people are the first timers. So even though you are the first timer, don't feel too discouraged or don't feel too nervous, because everybody else has been the first timer once. So for everybody, I think there is always the first time. So I would like the first timers to talk, to speak up and feel relaxed, because this is such a low risk kind of situation. And what I would like to do today is that before we talk about a little bit of education and learning and things like that, I made 3 overseas trips in the past 10 weeks. And first was to the US, first and the second was. And how many of you were at Unilever? October the 9th, okay. We had, last one, we had it at Unilever, and the topic was sustainability and business. And that was on October the 9th. So since the last session, I went to New York again, and also to Abu Dhabi, UAE. So I want to share a little bit about what we did and what I did in New York as well as in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi was a summit on global agenda, and that is the summit meeting which is held every year, either in October or November, either in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi. And that was the 8th of the kind. And that is this sort of a conference of the Global Agenda Councils organized by the World Economic Forum. And Global Agenda Councils is like a council of experts, quote unquote, from all over the world on some of the global issues. And now we have about 85 or so councils. So that includes like issues such as climate change or ocean, and also we have some industry kind of things, such as software industry and financial services. And we also have regional kind of councils. So we have one on Latin America, we have one on ASEAN, we have one in country. So we have Japan Council as well as China Council and Korean Council. And I am a member of the Council of Future of Jobs. There are several councils with the focus on future. So future of education, future of internet, future of jobs. And I happen to be a member of Future of Jobs. So we discussed what kind of factors in the world will affect future of jobs. And we sent the survey to about 2,000 or so, probably less, multinational companies throughout the world to find out what are the factors that the top management feel important that is related to jobs and employment. And so we thought about demographics, such as aging, and also the younger generation, younger population in the emerging markets. And we also thought about the technological advancement, such as mobile internet, crowdsourcing, and things like that. And we received the responses from over 300, we have the data point over 1,000. And all these companies, the biggest element was, to our surprise, we'll take a look, flexible work style, changing nature of work and flexible work, rather than demographics or mobile internet and so forth. The second one was mobile internet and cloud technology. And the next one is processing power, big data, and middle class in emerging markets and things like that. So we were a little bit surprised that we thought it would be much more of a technological kind of things. But it turned out to be a flexible work style and changing of nature of work, which is in a way related to technology, because the flexible work style is made possible because we do have internet, because we have cloud technology and so forth. But that was a little bit of a surprise. So we'll figure out how the companies, what kind of jobs are going to increase, what kind of jobs are going to decrease. As you may know, according to the Oxford researcher, 47% of the current jobs are going to be replaced by the robots or by machines. So we lose half of the jobs. At the same time, we will have the new jobs as well, but we don't know what kind of jobs are going to be available. So that was what it was. And we also try to figure out what kind of skills would be the critical skills in the future in 2020. We didn't think about 10 years out because there's just no way that we can figure out. So in 2020, given these are the important elements or the factors, disruptors, or the drivers of change in employment and jobs, what kind of skills would be needed? And across, we have some, 10 industries, and we have different regions. And what we found out was the number one choice was social skills rather than technical skills. So even though we think that the technology is very, very important, across every industry, the social skills is by far picked as the most important. The question is, what do we mean by social skills? And we don't know, and I think each one will have a different definition. But I think in a way it's very interesting because the social skills rather than technical skills or rather than sort of logical thinking has been picked up as an important factor. And I think that's based upon like collaboration and the trust and things like that. And in addition to the future of jobs, we talked pretty extensively about the fourth industrial revolution. How many of you have heard fourth industrial revolution, the term? Okay. Can you tell us what it is?
It's spread out in Germany first.
I see.
Like instead of human, the robot or the
AI? Yeah.
Okay. Works, instead of us.
Okay. So that's very much related to what I talked about, the technology and replacing. And I think you were more talking about manufacturing 4.0. And that's where the Germany, where Germany, that's the thing that Germany started. But when we talk about the Industrial Revolution, fourth Industrial Revolution, I think the scope is a little bit bigger. So we're talking about more things. The first Industrial Revolution, the steam engine sort of replaced a lot of things. And the second revolution was like computer. Third is like cloud technology and internet. And the fourth Industrial Revolution is just about starting. And we don't really know what the transformation and what's going to be the impact on the society. And what was interesting was that we had quite a few experts on these, fourth industrial revolution. One of the things they agreed was that what's going to be critical is the trust. Because we have shared economy, we sort of try to figure out how man and machine can work together rather than man versus machine. So if, for example, if you have a robot pharmacist telling you this is the medicine and this is the treatment that you have to follow, do you believe this robot or do you believe the human doctor who may say something a little different? So who do we trust? And because of the big data, because of the machine learning, I think the robots and AI has advanced pretty much recently. So they can do a lot of things. But when it comes to the very critical decisions, such as your health, are you ready or are you willing to trust what the AI or robots come up with? Or do you believe the human? And as you know, the people we do make mistakes. So it sounds as if that the robots do not make mistakes, but it's like a black box in a way. So we don't know how that decision is made. So can we trust those things which seem to be in the black box, or do we trust those people who may make mistakes? And I think those are the very important and very fascinating questions, because we don't know. I think we really are challenged by these things. So those are the kind of few things that I just wanted to share with you, because I haven't really heard about the fourth industrial revolution. I've heard of manufacturing 4.0, but I wasn't quite sure what the fourth industrial revolution was. And I never thought that the trust is going to be such a big issue. But if you know, you may have come across what shared bike. Have you seen shared bike? Okay. I thought it was just, I saw quite a few in New York, so I said, oh, great, they have the shared bike in city bike. And I also saw it in Abu Dhabi, so I said, oh, great, New York and Abu Dhabi. But I found one shared bike in Roppongi Hills. So I showed that, I took a picture and showed it to the seminar participants yesterday. And then after the seminar, after my talk, they said, take a look. And in Shinagawa, there are quite a few shared bikes. So it spreads very, very quickly. It's amazing how fast certain innovation spreads throughout the world. So now I know, I'm not going to say city bike is great, because it's everywhere. But shared bike or Uber or Airbnb, these are all shared economies. But in order to share, you really need some kind of trust. The trust is the foundation. So how do we build trust? And I think that's a very, very important question. And I think that's where the education becomes even more important than today. And I have noticed that whenever we talk about all those issues and the Davos experience in Tokyo, whether that's LGBT, whether that's sustainability in business, or whether we're talking about conflict minerals, we always come up with the idea of education of small children, younger generation, is critical to make the change and to lead us to the right direction. And yet, because you went to school, but it's been a while since you were in school, for most of you. So you may feel that education is very important, but what do I do about it? Is there anything I can do about the education? And that's why we invited Yusuke Matsuda today, who has founded Teach for Japan. But before we ask him to give us the history and the issues, the recent activities of TFJ, I would like to think about something, to remember something. You went to school and you came across with a lot of different teachers. Think about the teacher or two who made such a big impression on you. Think about it a few minutes and share it with the person next to you. What kind of person? Explain the most impressive or most the teacher that you remember. Memorable teacher. Whether you're in kindergarten, whether you're in grade school, whether you're in college, whether you're in middle school, I don't care. But I think there usually are some teachers who made quite a strong impression on you. So take 2 minutes, think about it, and then share it with among you, like 2 or 3 of you, and then we'll have a discussion. And then I'll give it to Yusuke.